Hello, engineers. In my time playing Space Engineers, I've spent a lot of time in PvP fights. One of the major things that happens in PvP fights are people fire their fixed weapons at each other. In this case, we're talking about railguns, because they deal the most damage in one shot. The problem with railguns that a lot of people have is that even though they travel really fast, it's still pretty easy for your opponent to maneuver out of your way or juke your crosshair. And with a 2-second charge up before they're firing, that can be pretty devastating, especially with gravity drive ships, which once they see your firing animation, they can very easily just switch directions and completely obliterate you. But there's a strategy that you can use to make it so that you have like double the hit rate. At least for me, when I started using it, I got double the hit rate on gravity drive ships and pretty much never miss a hydrogen ship again in your life. And that is called railgun canceling. What you can do is you can go into the control panel and find all of your railguns. Now you want to put them all in a group and save the group, and then put the group on your hotbar with the argument of toggle block on and off. Because railguns are a charge-up weapon and they need to be on when they're firing, you can fire your railguns and then turn them off, and they just don't fire. But you don't even need to turn them off. All you need to do is toggle them so you can start the firing animation, quickly swap them, and then they don't actually fire, but the firing animation still plays. It's a great way to confuse your enemies, and it is also an incredibly good way to make sure that if your opponent jukes your crosshair, you can just cancel firing and then get another attempt. You pretty much get infinite attempts. If you don't like the shot that you're about to take, you can just try again. There's another thing you can do with your railguns, which is firing half of them at once. This method is almost as simple. In this case, you're going to want to find your railguns, and if I have like 47 railguns, I don't know how many I've selected here, but I can select like about half of them and make a group. And then I can also put that on my toolbar with the argument of toggle block on and off. What I can do is I can turn them off, fire my railguns, and then turn them on and fire my railguns again. This is incredibly useful because it means that, especially when people don't expect you to have that many railguns, you can fire your railguns and trick them into thinking that you have fired all your railguns when in reality you didn't, and you fired the next round of them. It's very cool. There's one last thing that you can do, which I'm not going to show an example of, but you can very much do it, which is timing your turrets. You'll notice on the bottom of my toolbar, I have turrets, toggle block, on off. There you go. What you can do is when you're in a big, heavy fight and you're like spin dodging like this, you can turn your turrets off, and you can just kind of wait until you get close to your opponent. Because you're not going to hit your opponent, especially if they're dodging well, you're not going to be able to hit your opponent from far away. So all you need to do is get close and then wait until you're close enough that you're able to hit them, and you can turn your turrets on. Your turrets will all unload at the same time, which means that you can basically tell them when to shoot to give you the most advantage. It's a very good strategy. I do suggest that you use it. Anyways, that's all I have for today. Yeah. Oh, that was beautiful. Anyways, see ya.